So welcome, everybody. And the agenda, so last question is, as we're going through these information sessions, this is a new element to National Meet the Firms Week. I hope that they're valuable to you, but I really would appreciate your feedback on how we can make them better, whether from a presentation standpoint or from how the webinars are presented, the Join Me feature. Secondly, with Kim Hess today, we're going to have Q&A. You all have seen the control panel where you can, little chat icon where you can give us questions. Give me your questions throughout the presentation, and I'll make sure I ask them to Kim at the end. We'll go for about 30 minutes, give or take, and it should be a great session. So I'm going to let our speaker introduce the firm, because we're going to be learning about Yeo and Yeo of Michigan today. But I can say that I've worked with Kim Hess for the last 2 years, and Kim, it is an absolute pleasure working with you. Kim has helped us literally design College Frog and has taught me a lot about recruiting and the accounting industry along the way. So I was excited that Kim was interested in giving a presentation to our students. So, Kim, I'm going to let you have the floor. I'll be here to support if you need anything. And Kim, thank you so much for participating today. Take it away.
Absolutely. Thanks, Jeff. Thanks for having us today. And it has been my pleasure to work with you as well in College Frog. And I think the future is really exciting, for what College Frog has in store. So thank you to everyone that's attending today. And I hope that you'll learn a little bit more about Yeo and Yeo. I'm going to start by talking first about becoming a CPA. I'm not going to get into that real detail just because I know most callers are probably already versed in that. But let's talk about what it takes to become a CPA or why you should become a CPA. It's a huge demand, obviously, and the career path is wide open if you want to become a CPA. And you'll have a career for a lifetime. The other part about becoming a CPA you have to keep in mind is it's a lifetime of learning. And if you're the kind of person that wants to learn and keep growing throughout your career, then you definitely want to become a CPA because it never stops. As I mentioned, tons of demand and high growth opportunities for professionals in accounting and finance. And it is a very competitive area as well, which I'm sure that some of you may have already experienced.
We still haven't interviewed.
On the document here, I've got a link to the AICPA Public Accounting Trends, which I found to be very useful and helpful. And they just published those in 2013, so they're very recent statistics. Jeff, will this PowerPoint be available for people later?
Kim, if you'd like to send it to me, I'd be happy to distribute it to the group.
Okay.
Also, the recording will be available. And Kim, I just had a thought. If you wanted to, I was going to say to mute the rest of us, but let's not do that. I'll just keep reminding people to mute if we hear any background noise. But to answer your question, yes, we can distribute this PowerPoint to everybody.
Okay, that'd be awesome, just because they'll have direct links then to Yeo and Yeo too, other than, coming to our website and that kind of thing. So, and this is a link in this document, the AICPA publication. So that's why I wondered. So, okay, good. What are some of the personal advantages? I found this cute little cartoon. We don't usually negotiate with agents to fill a $25,000 a year position. Well, we don't have to negotiate to find awesome CPA candidates because there's so many students out there going to become a CPA, and you can look forward to a starting salary of about $50,000 if you're in the Michigan area. I have to speak for Michigan only since we're a Michigan firm right now. And we've been in the Michigan area since 1923, so almost 91 years. Some of the other advantages, compensation, the quality of life that CPAs have. We actually equate it a lot of times to a doctor or a dentist because it is a profession. It's a lifetime profession. It's not just a job that you're going to go into. the opportunities that come about if you become a CPA are really endless. You can do so many different things with it, and we're going to jump into that a little bit too. And I know that it's a tough decision for a lot of people because there are so many opportunities in different ways you can take your CPA licensure and accreditation. With those opportunities comes job security. If you determine that you're going to go and take the test and become a CPA, you're going to have job security for life. And whether you decide to stay in public, go corporate, whatever you want to do, you will have a career forever. That's a big question a lot of people have to determine. Do you want to go corporate or public? Another reason why I wanted to know if this was going to be out there, Jeff, is because there's a lot of detail in here, and I don't want to just read through it. But a couple of different things. Corporate and public accounting are a lot different from each other. Obviously, I'm speaking on behalf of the public accounting area, and so is Jeff and College Frog and what it has to offer. There's a lot of variables and differences. You'll see differences, work hours, career opportunities will be different. A lot of times in the corporate world, it's a steady, slower growth, and then there's usually a cap at some point where we look at public accounting, and especially at Yeo and Yeo, you can become an owner one day. So really the opportunities for growth and compensation both are endless because you kind of have control of your own destiny here as far as being an owner. The other piece that's different between corporate and public is typical workday. A lot of consistency in your corporate setting, where in public accounting there's going to be a lot more variables. You'll go to different locations, working with clients on their site, and you're just a lot more mobile. I see it as a mobile environment, especially because a lot of the public accounting firms, and including Yeo and Yeo, are paperless. So we provide our new staff and existing staff their own laptops so they can be mobile and work remotely from a client, from home, from wherever they need to go that day. So lots of differences. There's going to be pros and cons, and I'm sure it depends on which side you're sitting on, what's a pro and what's a con, but I've provided a few different things. Again, corporate setting for accounting is definitely a little bit more routine, and you're going to find a lot less redundancy in the public accounting area because you're working with many clients, so you're doing business with, or you're looking at all kinds of books. It's not just one set of books for one corporation. And I know that all of our CPAs on site here at Yeo and Yeo, that's what they love about it, is they get to know their clients and they get to know their books and obviously become a consultant to them at some point in time. So the routine is a lot less in public and a lot more variable. Couple other pieces there I mentioned earlier, but sometimes in corporate you'll find that there's a salary cap, and usually in public and especially at Yeo and Yeo, like I mentioned, the ownership piece, there's ways to achieve higher salaries throughout your whole entire career and basically your lifetime. So it's tough. There's a lot of hours to work, but at Yeo and Yeo we do have a balance to that. So, and I'll get into that in a few minutes. The other question you have to ask yourself is, do you want to do audit or tax or more of a consulting type setting? And again, you're going to have a lot of considerations here. You're going to look at when the seasons are busy, what kind of work setting and location you would have. If you're an audit or tax, that changes because tax people typically will be in the office. Auditors are out in the field more or at a client location. The workload will vary. However, I will say most of the time in our world, audit and tax people both have a busy season. It just might be at different times of the year. Job levels at Yeo and Yeo are the same. It doesn't matter to us if you're in tax or audit, and we want individuals to kind of drive their own career path. We have it all structured and it's set, and you can decide to, determine on your own passions which way you want to go. But we will help provide the support along the way to take you from level 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 and, even on up to partner. usually at Yeo and Yeo, our auditors do travel a little bit more, but we are based in Michigan, and right now all of our offices are in Michigan, so that means most of our clients are in Michigan. We have a few that may be outside of Michigan or in the local states adjoining us, but we're staying here in this cold state, so if that's where you like to be, then this is where you should call us. Another piece that changes is the office interaction and even the personality of the person that is going to want to do audit or tax. Audit always seems to me to be more of a social type setting. It's a little more interactive, where tax tends to be you're at your desk with your computer working on tax returns or working on financial statements, et cetera. And so you kind of want to think about what type of person are you. Do you want to be in a more focused environment where you're having less interruptions, or do you like that social piece where you get to talk with the clients more and interact with the clients too? So let's talk more about Yeo and Yeo. As I mentioned a couple times, and Jeff had too, we're a Michigan-based firm. This year we'll have our 91st anniversary. And one thing that I think stands out for us is that we have had economic highs and lows over that 90-year period. I mean, I always think it's amazing to think about the change and the depression and different economic highs and lows that we've gone through, and yet we remain steady and we are still experiencing growth over a 90-year period, which I think is quite amazing. We are a leading top 200 firm. And actually, that's how Jeff and I met each other, based on the fact that we are a leading top firm. I think he reached out to us and talked to us about College Frogs. So we do get rewarded a lot of different resources just based on the fact that we're a well-known firm. Our annual revenues are over $30 million. We have 30 principals and over 200 employees in the firm, which they're all spread out in 8 different offices right now in Michigan. In 2013, we experienced 14.5% growth over the year before, and we're going to continue to experience growth through business development and mergers. We're very focused on merging, and right now most of those mergers would happen in Michigan, but we may, step outside of the state too. We're not against that at all. We just kind of like to stay in Michigan for now. Let's see here. Our mission statement is outstanding business, financial, and accounting solutions. It's pretty straightforward. A couple of things that are extremely important to us, really our top 2 are the client services that we provide and our employees. And with that said, we know that if we provide a really solid environment for our employees and a happy place to work and fun, then they'll be happy, they'll stick around, and they'll want to work here. And besides that, they will provide an awesome service to our clients, which is another benefit of being at Yeo and Yeo. Most of our clients are small and medium sized. So as a CPA here, you will really get to know those clients, and you'll get to have long-term relationships with them, and they look at you as a true advisor at some point in time. And, of course, I know a lot of people on the call might be saying, well, I don't even know how to do this yet, but we'll teach you how to do it along the way. So it's kind of a gradual, very rewarding process that we have for career growth. Here's some goofy pictures of a lot of the people that I work with. I love the green jacket. It's pretty cool.
Are you in there, Kim, somewhere, so we have a picture of you?
No, I'm not. I should have put a picture of myself in here. I don't think I am. That top one is at a Tigers baseball game. The other one to the right with the guy in the green coat, that's at our corporate office. Most of those people right there are all auditors, I think, generally speaking. And the other one, it looks like I think it was a bowling thing where they were doing a fundraiser or something. But yeah, I didn't put myself in any of these. So we have a fun community here, and our people love to do things outside of work together just for fun or within the community. If you check out our website, you will find that Yeo and Yeo has been so dedicated over the years to community involvement. And a little story that I always like to tell is really that is based on the people that we hire, because we don't have any specific requirement of individuals to be participating, in United Way or in any particular fundraising area, or, let's say Race to the Cure or anything. We just want people, we want to hire people that already have that desire to be community involved, give back to their community, and we kind of thrive on all those people, all of our employees' passions. So I think that's a pretty cool way to move forward with community involvement, because it's not contrived. It's not something that we make people do, but it's a natural fit, And a lot of times what happens is if we have, for instance, in the past, I've said, I want to do Race for the Cure, which I typically do myself, but every year we do that, I'll go to my group in Lansing and say, who wants to go with me? And then we kind of just all get together and have a team, have a Yeo and Yeo team, and it's a lot of fun, and it's a great way to get to know your coworkers outside of work too.
If you don't like, I'll send you a different one.
We have yeah, that's a good point. Whoever said that. Not if you don't like them. Actually, everybody that we work with is a lot of fun, and I see people out there. Of course, I'm kind of in a different position because I'm the director of HR, so I don't get to I don't get to go out to clients and work with people on accounting processes and that kind of stuff. Thank goodness I don't. But anyway, I see them having fun together all the time, so that's pretty cool. And most of our employees stick around for a long time. I mean, our tenure, I just had to do this research, and our tenure is 8 years. It was in the 8 to 12 year range. The thing that I was doing this for, the survey had a range of time, so it's between 8 and 10 years. A lot of our partners have been here for somewhere between 20 and 35 years. We typically hire college graduates, like all of you guys coming right out of college, and we want you to kind of grow up here, if you will, and you have the opportunity to do that and take that career path and become a partner one day. So that's sort of what we traditionally do. That doesn't mean that we don't hire experienced people, because we're always looking for experienced professionals, but at the same point, our goal is to bring people right out of college and train them. We have an internal trainers, so we have our own department of training people. So regardless of tax or audit or accounting services, whatever it might be that you're going into, you can jump on board with our trainers. You can gain all your CPE that's required once you become a CPA here. You can get it internally for at least the first 5 years. And we do help people specialize in something. I think I'm getting ahead of myself here, so I better move along. Let me talk about specialization in a few minutes, because I want to talk about our niche teams. But anyway, on the career path, it's driven by you as the employee, and we support it in various ways. So training, when you get to the point of needing outside training, we pay for that training for people. And that's after a little bit of experience. Then you can start to decide what your true passions really are. Some of you might be feeling like, I've had a few accounting classes and I really like this, or I loved my tax class, or I love my audit class. But once you have the practical hands-on experience here, you really start to identify what your true passions are. And the other piece, let's keep moving on. We have 3 other divisions. So we are Yeo and Yeo CPAs and Business Consultants, which is basically the umbrella, the mother company, if you will. But we also have now for about 20 years computer consulting and affiliated medical billing. Those 2 divisions branched out basically, and they were kind of born from Yeo and Yeo CPAs because of the need and the desires of our clients that we saw, and we were able to branch out into computers and into medical billing. We had done a lot of healthcare in the past years, even 20, 30 years ago, we had tons of healthcare clients, which we still do at this point. But anyway, that's how we kind of got into the medical billing area. But out of the CPA side, we've had now these other two successful entities. And then more recently, you'll see Yeo and Yeo Financial Services, which is a very small division of us, of Yeo and Yeo, but we still service all of Michigan. But it's a pretty small team that we have working on that. However, it's kind of a very unique way to get into investments and that kind of thing. And that's also a specialty that you could pick if you decided to go with a career at Yeo and Yeo. We're always looking for people that want to go that route. Let's see here. What did I miss? Yeah, I think that's all. We're very family-oriented. The company was originally purchased by the family. Their last name was Yeo. And when they came here from England in the 1800s, it was actually yeoman, and they just took the M-A-N off and went with Yeo. And we still today continue to kind of live by those core values that they started as a family-owned firm. At this point, we don't have any of the Yeo family with us anymore, unfortunately, but we still live by those core values and desires that they started the firm with. Next, I want to talk a little bit about our niches, and really I'm not going to get into detail, but how this affects you in your career. These are areas that you could specialize in if you started with a career with Yeo and Yeo. And we've found, we started working with the niche teams. We kind of revived them, I would call it revived them about 3 years ago, and since then, I have been told this is the reason for a lot of the growth that we've had in the last couple of years. So we've seen this to be very productive. But anyway, it's also very rewarding when it comes to someone's career because they're less spread out with broader scope, and they're focused and they're specializing in certain areas. So they're able to kind of dig deeper in those certain subject matters. And I can see that engagement in people, and they've really enjoyed going more focused. And they're able to, with these niche teams, we are able to share the workload in a different way so that we are servicing all of Michigan, as I mentioned before. But when it comes to your career, you're not having to do things that you don't really like to do because you're going to find someone else within Yeo and Yeo that actually has that expertise, and you can pass that client on to someone else. So that's happening a lot more within the firm. And we really want to, throughout someone's career here, we really want to promote and empower our staff. Bless you.
Thank you.
To get into some specialty. Now, keep in mind, it'll probably take you about 6 or so years before you really want to specialize, because in the early stages of your career, there's so much to learn, and you're going to want to have exposure to some of these things so that you know what you really like to do. We have lots of opportunities here. Okay, the other next thing is our affiliation with the Leading Edge Alliance. I think that kind of got, I mean, I mentioned that earlier. That's actually, too, a connection that Jeff and I have. Leading Edge is a global alliance for firms that are kind of like us. And what I mean by that is we're an independently owned firm. So other firms within the LEA are also independently owned. They're probably about less than 400 employees. Most of them are even fewer than 200 employees. So as I mentioned, right now we have 220 employees, but I've known a lot of the firms in the LEA that may have 50, but they're spread out. They're in different countries as well, and we can use each other as resources. It can be that it's a friendly relationship. It's not competitive. And the other thing that the LEA does on purpose is they gain new members, but we're not right in each other's backyards. So again, we're not competing with each other, but we have a lot of resources to utilize through the LEA as well. It could be helping a client. We may borrow individuals, employees from other LEA firms. Excuse me. I say borrow, but there always is some sort of, compensation that takes place with that. But at the same point, we know that other firm isn't going to steal our client, and yet they're going to service them within the same standards that we would. So the standards are similar and that type of thing. The other one other advantage to the LEA is for young professionals. They have these SIG groups, special interest groups, which there's a huge list. For instance, human resources is one of them. I'm a part of it, but I obviously picked the young professionals. As you all are coming out into the work world, you'll become a young professional. This is a great way to connect and network with other young professionals, and again, they're throughout the world. And it's basically they have different meetings and conferences, and they have even simple phone conferences and webinars and stuff like we're doing today. So anyway, it's a pretty cool link that really expands our network and makes us feel bigger than we really are. And it's been extremely beneficial. We've been a member, and actually we were one of the founding members of this, and we've been a member for 15 years of the LEA. We've had a lot of recognition over the years. These are just a few of the different things we've won awards in. We have been West Michigan's 101 Best and Brightest Companies to Work for 9 years. And I'm actually in the process of going through that survey right now. And what happens, though, in these surveys that we do, our employees, our real employees, are surveyed. So these are not answers that we just make up. These are things that are tested and tried and true. And if you can kind of go to that website and find out, what does that mean if somebody's a 101 Best and Brightest? And it'll tell you. But basically, we've done that for 9 years in West Michigan. In the Metro Detroit area, in 2012, we had a merger, which kind of opened up the Detroit area for us a little bit. And for 2 years now, we've been in that Best and Brightest group. And then I mentioned the top 200 before. With the recognition and being a part of all these different accolades, basically, it is a responsibility. We take that with pride, of course, and we feel that we need to, uphold that standard. So every year we're all anxiously looking and say, are we still in the top 200? Are we in 101 Best? And we know that helps us provide a really great place to work. I love this little cartoon. Why did you leave your last job? The company relocated and didn't tell me where. Oh, that'd be a nightmare. We have career advocacy here, so you're not going to be lost. We help provide direction for all of our employees. And we have a team, which is called the Career Advocacy Team, cute little name. And we have that team who is solely focused on the careers of our employees and how to provide resources that will help them make a great work environment and a great career environment, and give our employees ideas of how to progress in their career and become promoted on a consistent basis throughout all the levels. The other thing that career advocacy team has done over the years is we've created flexible work arrangements. We have an emerging leaders program, which does include women's initiatives as well. But basically, the emerging leaders portion is aimed at people that would want to be a partner one day. So we're providing what kind of resources they need to become a partner. It could mean training. It could be mentoring. It could be sponsorship from a partner, from those experts that have been doing this, and they know how to do run a business basically and be a partner in a CPA firm. So basically, all kinds of different development opportunities and resources for all of our employees come through we call it the CAT team. They come through the CAT team. So career advocacy is very important to us. And I think with that, I am finished. I want to talk a little bit about some resources that we have here, and then, of course, open it up to questions. We have a great website. You can apply online at our website and use College Frog. When you do that, you'll see their little black logo of College Frog right there, and you can apply right through there, and maybe if you're on this call, you already have done that. We have some fun videos out there that kind of give you a little bit more idea of our culture if you go to YouTube. And many of us are on LinkedIn, but I'm on LinkedIn, and I always welcome anyone who would like to connect with me there. It's a great place to connect with me because then I can keep track. We can keep in touch, actually, a little bit better on there. And you can see a picture of me there, and I can see a picture of you. And we also have a Facebook page. So we try to keep things moving and get into the social media scene a little bit. And those are some resources that are out there for you as well to learn a little bit more about Yeo and Yeo.
Kim, is it a good time to take a couple questions?
Absolutely.
All right, awesome. Well, thank you for the overview. This has been great because I've learned quite a bit about Yeo and Yeo. I didn't realize, I actually didn't realize all the specializations that people can have. I mean, that has a very big four feel to it, that despite the fact that it's a larger mid-market firm. So my first question is about mid-market. A lot of these students are learning about career options, and I think they're very well versed in what the Big Four has to offer, which is clearly a great career path. But would you take a moment and speak about the advantages of working in a mid-market firm like Yeo and Yeo? One thing that you mentioned earlier was salary caps for firms for people who leave public to go into private. And that's a big deal. I think people maybe don't realize that you can do very well for yourself in a public accounting role. But anyway, it's mid-market overall. There's general benefits of working in a firm like Yeo and Yeo as opposed to maybe like going to a very large international firm.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, on the front end, one of the advantages that we see is that you're going to be working with a smaller team to begin with, and so you will have a lot more interaction with the people like partners or senior managers who have been doing this work for 20 years. So you're working directly with experts and you're learning from them on a day-to-day. And the other thing that we see to be kind of exciting is that you get to have your hands-on work a lot faster. Obviously you're going to have practical work no matter where you go, but at Yeo and Yeo, you'll see the process. Like if you're an auditor, for example, you'll see that full circle process much faster than you would at a bigger firm. And you will the variety of tasks that will come toward you at Yeo and Yeo will be a lot more variable because obviously with fewer people, I always say we wear a lot of hats, meaning we do a lot of different things as individuals here. And so not only is it needed, but really the people that work here kind of like that. That's what they want to do, and kind of have that broader scope from the beginning. And then the other piece that is enhanced with that is that I'm not saying that your career path will necessarily be faster moving, but the work that you're doing is going to be broader scope faster so that you kind of get into a more in-depth understanding of it quicker. Does that make sense? One other thing I want to say about mid-market, I mentioned that you work with the clients, you get to know those clients, and a lot of our clients are small and medium-sized. So they have a lot of struggles in the accounting area because they don't necessarily have a true CPA doing their work on site, especially when we work with nonprofits and that kind of thing. And so with that said, our CPAs become even more consultant-like. Many of them are considered consultants, but even when they might not be yet a full-fledged consultant, that's the kind of thing our clients are looking for from us. And so usually by a senior accountant level or a manager level, you'll be helping and advising that client so you really have that feeling that you're helping them because you are. Otherwise, they don't have the resources. They don't have the knowledge that you will have eventually as a CPA. And lastly, about middle market and career path here, because you mentioned, Jeff, you said it does sound like Big Four, the bigger firms, but yet I always say we have the best of both worlds, because when you work in our offices, you've got smaller teams. Some of our offices have 10 people in them. So, just kind of visualize that for a minute. It's small. You have one-on-one relationships. You get to know your coworkers. Like I mentioned before, they go out and do things together, which you can do that anywhere. But it's a more tight-knit relationship within the offices. But the other piece, the best of both worlds part, the other side of it, corporate, everything is very structured here. So we have the promotional levels measured out for you, and the criteria is out there publicly within the firm. We try to be as transparent as we can be with all levels, so that you know what's coming next. If you want to go for that, if that's a goal of yours, you'll go for it. That kind of thing. So to me, the best of both worlds is that I can go to a nice office every day where I know the people I work with, I can laugh with them, I can work hard with them, I, might know some of their family members or at least about them, that kind of thing. And then, on the other hand, it's structured, it's got tons of resources and great benefits and compensation. So we usually compete with the big firms when it comes to benefits and compensation, and I think that's obviously a selling point for most of our employees.
It's got to be, and I just think that students need to hear things like that, Kim, because for a lot of reasons, it's important to know that there are these remarkable career opportunities in public accounting in mid-market firms, because it is a truly remarkable opportunity. Kim, a couple other questions that we've got is does Yeo and Yeo hire and sponsor international candidates?
We can do that, yes, and we have done that in the past. Yep.
Great.
Absolutely.
What about if candidates are recent graduates or not recent graduates, actually experienced graduates, but looking to make a transition at a more of an entry level in accounting? Is there a pathway for people like that to have a career at Yeo and Yeo?
Yes, I will say that it's challenging if you're coming from a corporate setting into public accounting, and I've heard that over and over, from different recruiters that I know for different firms. So I don't think it's just unique to Yeo and Yeo, but we are challenged with bringing people in from the corporate setting. But definitely, if someone has public accounting experience and it's 6 months or 1 year or 4 years or 10 years, whatever it might be, we can integrate those individuals wherever that level would be that they're at. And the big thing is just transitioning software. We have so many different standards, and of course we have compliance issues and things that we are right up to par with. So those kinds of things will be pretty equal wherever you're at, but then we kind of have the Yeo and Yeo way too on some things, So we do use Creative Solutions software mainly, but I'll tell you, in the software end, because we have our computer consulting division, it's constantly growing and changing and updating, and we have the cutting edge software, whatever's out there new and being used right now for the size of our firm. That's what we're going to be using, and it's hard for me to even keep up with it. It's so ever changing, But that's the world of technology. But yeah, definitely have the career paths for people coming in, and we try to customize that type because we want to look at what they've done and the experiences they've had, and where does that fit in with us, and what do they want to do. So definitely.
Kim, I think we'll end it there, and I'm going to send you a couple of notes from students who are on the call who have actually already applied and just wanted to say hi and want you to know they're out there. Because actually, if you see the chat, you'll be able to see that.
Awesome.
Yeah, and I'll send that your way here in just a second.
Okay.
But I think every time we do something like this, it's always kind of a technical risk because you don't know how it's all going to be pulled out together. We heard a couple sneezes and and things like that.
I love it.
Yeah, it's all part of connecting with people. I think this is a great way for students to get to know more about you and your firm. It's certainly a great way a new channel for you to talk to students. So I hope it was as valuable for you as I feel like it was for me and for the students. And I just thank you for putting the time in to tell us about your firm and for the advice. So thank you so much for that, Kim. And any final thoughts as we wrap this thing up?
Only I want to thank you as well for the opportunity, and I want to thank everybody on the call for your, even if it's ever slight interest in Yeo and Yeo. And I want to welcome you to contact me. You can email me directly. My email's right here on this page. Or, like I say, LinkedIn is really helpful because then I can keep track of that a little better. Mm-hmm. But we are very, very personal here as far as, yes, you can apply on our website, but we want you to reach out to me. And if it takes me a little while to get back to you, just understand I get a million emails. But at the same point, you've got a personal invite to reach out to me if you're interested in pursuing Yeo and Yeo at all. So thanks again for attending, everyone.
That's a rare offer, by the way, and that's one that I hope everybody out there heard and certainly is grateful for. That's really neat, Kim. Well, we'll sign off for now. Kim, thanks and great job. Everybody else, have an awesome day. Don't forget we'll have another session at 3:30 Eastern. So we'll sign off for now. Thanks, everybody. Bye-bye.